playing around with a little live streaming just to see how it goes. I'm trackside here in South Point, Ohio, watching some trains, doing some rail fanning. And of course, the scanner decides to act up as soon as I go live. I'll show you where I'm at. Oh, come on. Here's where we're set up. Kind of across from the South Point Fire Department. Now, this is all new. I don't know how to look at the chat and stuff. So if anybody happens to show up, yeah, it's about 95 degrees out here today. But I brought the Explorer so I could pop the hatch up and have a little canopy shade. Helps make it a little more comfortable. I've seen 4 trains so far today. 3 of them have been westbound here, coming from West Virginia. They crossed the river at Canova, West Virginia, that big, beautiful elevated bridge that runs through Canova, across the Ohio River and into South Point. So I'm on the South Point end of that run. We've had 1 eastbound train, a container train came through, and we had an empty coal train, a mixed local, and I think a mostly empty container train go westbound. And that's been about all we've seen so far today, which for Sunday isn't too bad. I've had some dry runs out here on Sundays. As you can see there's a cloud in the sky. Hi guys. For those of you just joining, I'm in South Point, Ohio, rail fanning. I'm here along the tracks, seeing some trains come by. Easy for me to say. We've seen some trains come through, so just enjoying my Sunday afternoon. Rail fanning, watching some trains go by. This is a Norfolk Southern main line, a dual main line. I don't know if we'll see it anymore or not. Boxcar Jerry, hey, how you doing, buddy? Day is going well, so far anyway. Hey, Christopher, where do you operate out of? I actually live up near in Tiffin, Ohio, which isn't too far away from the CSX yard in Willard and the Norfolk Southern yard in Bellevue. But right now I'm in Southern Ohio, down on the Ohio River, in South Point, Ohio, which is the southernmost point of Ohio. And it has just been a gorgeous day. Macon, Georgia. Awesome, my friend. You know, something about getting in your mid-50s. Suddenly I started drinking coffee. I like the smell and taste of sawdust in the shop. and I got into trains. Can't explain it. It seems to happen to a lot of guys when they hit their mid-50s. So I'm there and I'm jumping in with both feet. Morgana, hey, how you doing? Discover life. Have a good night. So I'll switch you back around and kind of show you where, oops, it didn't go. There we go. You don't have to look at my ugly mug. There we go. Those of you that are familiar with rail fanning, this is an area that Jawtooth is in a lot. He's all over in Canova, West Virginia quite a bit, which is where that elevated bridge is. It runs from Canova across the Ohio River into South Point, Ohio. I have shot a video over on that side of the river. This time of the year where the sun's at, it's just hard to get good video over there. Everything's in shadows. So I can't get on the south side of the tracks. N-Scale, how you doing, Nick? This is my very first live stream. So we're just kind of experimenting. I'm afraid that's a term I'm not familiar with there, Christopher. What do you mean by jointed or ribbon rail? I'm going to violate the rules and go up here near the tracks. There's an industry spur right here as well. There we go. And we got a crossover down there. Usually Sundays are not great days for rail fanning here. I don't know why. I guess mainly because this is a lot of container trains and coal trains. I don't seem to get as many of those on Sunday. But I did get 2 container trains through, 1 empty coal train, and kind of like a mixed freight local, I think it was. Had a little bit of everything on it. I'll post a video on it later on. See what we come up with. The wife is home with the dogs. We had a long day at the barn yesterday with the horses, so she's just kind of taking it easy today. I'm taking it easy today too. I'm just taking it easy out by the tracks, watching some trains go by. Hey, how's your sister-in-law doing, Nick? I haven't been online much to be able to see what's going on. Yeah. Look at my ugly mug for a little bit. Yeah. There aren't any trains close right now. There was some chatter on the radio, on the scanner, but I'm close enough to the CSX tracks on the south side of the Ohio River that I pick up a lot of chatter from them as well. I haven't got refined enough with my scanner to separate out the Norfolk Southern and CSX frequencies, so they're not walking on each other. It's good to hear, Nick. It really is. She's been in our thoughts and prayers. And I've been trying to keep up with Mike's shorts and his videos and stuff he's been putting up, so. Well, I must say, this is a pleasant surprise that I had a bunch of people show up on a totally unscheduled, random, sitting here bored thinking, hey, I think I'm going to see what it takes to do a live stream. Nothing high tech. It's weird because I'm used to watching live streams and hearing the other person ramble on. Now I'm the person on in front of the camera and has to ramble on a little bit. Pig trains? Cool. There we go. What are we doing, everybody? I tell you, it's kind of bright out here. So if I miss you guys posting something, I apologize. Yeah, Christopher, what do they call a train that's all the same cars, like all grain cars, all tankers? I always forget that. Or where it's always all like the same product, or at least the same kind of cars. That's cool. You know, I haven't seen them so much down here on the river, but up in northwest Ohio where our other house is, and no, we're not rich. We just still have my wife's house in South Point, Ohio, because it was a small house. It was paid for. All it cost us was utilities and taxes, and it was close to her parents. So we'd have some place to stay when we came down here. And unfortunately, both her parents have since passed away, and it took 2 years, but we finally got the estate settled. So we're going to try to figure out what we're going to do with the properties down here. But when I'm up in northwest Ohio on the CSX main line up there, I seen an entire BNSF grain train come through. It had 3 liters and a DP on the end, and it must have had 80 grain cars on it. And then we see the UP engines come through quite a bit too, consisted in with the Norfolk Southerns. And Canadian National. I get some Canadian Nationals through up there too. Yeah, we usually get some pretty good sized coal trains, because there's a coal dock on the Ohio River. If I ever get a drone, I'll get some aerial shots of it. It's just right across the river from where I'm at that they load the barges. And then there's also a facility where they load cars as well, train cars. And man, we've seen some monster coal trains come through. But today the westbound coal train was empty, which usually they're full when they're westbound, because they come across the river from West Virginia loaded and then head up north into Ohio for wherever it is they go. I know there's a coal dock up in Sandusky, Ohio. There's a guy out of New York, I think it is. He's got a channel that shows a lot of operations from the air, and one of the videos he has, unit train, that's what it is, yeah. And he's got a video of the coal docks up there in Sandusky, Ohio, with how they empty the rail cars and then load them onto the lake freighters. So that's pretty cool. But Sundays are, like I said, Sundays are usually pretty quiet. So Christopher, which I've heard from other engineers. I'll see what your opinion is. Who has the best kept engines? Who has the best kept locomotives that you've run from other railroads? I tell you what I want to do one of these days is get over near Cincinnati. I want to try to catch some of the Cincinnati Eastern trains. I'm going to try to prototype their engines. And I'm in the process of accumulating the HO scale locomotives right now. Then I'll paint them, decal them up, that kind of stuff. Yeah, it just depends on the train around here. Like up north, on that CSX line, man, we can get as many as 4 trains an hour through. I mean, it's the Willard sub up there is a really big, busy route. I know there's a container yard in North Baltimore, Ohio, so we have a lot of containers that come through there. And not so much the container trains, but like some of the bigger trains that I swear are close to 2 miles long. They'll have a deep, DP in the middle and a DP on the end. Canadian national ones do. When I heard from a CSX engineer that BNSF has the cleanest engines when they end up swapping them out, I'm still learning how all that happens. Why you have the foreign power sometimes on there. I know it's easier just to not switch engines out, or they just move them for I don't know. I just know that it's kind of cool when you see different different railroads lashed together. Yeah, I had a string of 3 trains eastbound, and I don't think they were much more than 10 to 15 minutes apart, and then it was dead. Hey Mike, how you doing, buddy? Um, I don't know how well that would be received up here. I know there's a big hump yard in Bellevue where they do a lot of, they got a hump yard there. And I always thought it'd be kind of cool to go and watch that. But that guy out of New York or Pennsylvania I was telling you about that does those operations videos, he went somewhere to a big yard where they hump the trains, and then he showed them like in 4 times speed, so it's not quite so boring. And it's just amazing how they build up the trains like that. Boy, I figures as soon as I go live, they would disappear. Must be dinner time. Yeah, the CSX driver, he was talking about the BNSFs are always the nicest. So that's consistent with what I've heard. It'd be a couple Saturdays before I'm back up there again, Mike, but I want to make it back over there again and play around some more or help do some work. I might actually have to do some work on the layout this time when I'm over there. I know I got a bit distracted last time. Got the Darth Vader lights. Well, that's for the siding anyway. I wouldn't be able to see what's going on. There's another spot on this line where I can sit and I can see the signals. Kind of gives you a heads up when something's coming in case I don't pick it up on the radio. Scanner works better if you leave it on. I asked Nick earlier about how your wife's doing. He said she's improving, so that's good. She's been in our prayers. So man, it's a nice day. I brought the Explorer out here because it has a hatchback, and gives me a little canopy to sit underneath because it's flipping hot. And my truck can give me some better vantage points to film from, but there's no relief from the sun unless I sit in the cab. Yeah, no, Chris, I don't think you missed anything. Do you go by Chris or Christopher? Is it okay to call you Chris? Anyway, yeah, Mike, I was having some problems with that myself, not to the point of passing out, but I was getting very dizzy and lightheaded and would kind of have to lean up against the wall sometimes when I stood up. When I went to the doctor, he seemed to think that they did some tests in the office there with my blood pressure, like laying down, sitting up, standing up, and I have to go to the hospital and have a special test. I don't want to say special, but it's a test done where they do various things to affect your blood pressure to see. He thinks there could be a delay between my when I change position and when my brain reacts to tell my cardiovascular system to adjust accordingly, and that delay is causing me to get lightheaded and almost pass out. So we'll just have to see. I have to wait till I get back in Tiffin to get that scheduled. But it's kind of like when you were a kid, you know, you're a kid, used to like sit down on the ground with your head between your knees and then stand up real quick and you'd almost, you know, pass out. Well, it's kind of like that, although don't have to stand up really quick. I can just stand up and it happens. What's the heaviest train you've ever run, Chris? And the most DPUs you had on it? Well, I wish you nothing but the best. Let me know how our tests come out so I know what to expect when I go over there. I caught video of a train the other day. It had 5 locomotives on the head end, but they were patched, and so I'm gonna have to look them up and see, you know, who they are, if they're from a leasing company or if they're just getting transported, because it wasn't that heavy of a train. I've got, I don't know, 40 trains I've got videotaped that I haven't, or recorded that I haven't had a chance to put a video together yet. Hey, Mike and Nick, if you guys are still on here, I'd like to hopefully this week get my first model Railroad 101 video that I'm doing. It's on resistor wheel sets and how to make them. My problem is I overproduce the damn things. I spend too much time tweaking it and doing stuff I probably nobody really cares about, but for some reason I'm obsessed with. Yeah. And you know, Mike, what I might do is I might upload it to YouTube without publishing it yet, just to have some people look at it to make sure that I'm accurate in the information I'm putting out there. Not that, you know, the 10 people that'll see it are going to care, but I'm doing it more for my own enjoyment. There's plenty of videos out there that show people how to make their own wheel sets. Well, resistor wheel sets for block detection and stuff. But I gotta tell you, this has been fun. I mean, we're 25 minutes into this already. I didn't even realize it. And I have heard zero chatter on the scanner, so I don't think there's a whole lot moving around right now. On either side of the river. I'm not hearing anything on the CSX frequencies either. I'd really like to go back over to Canova and record over there again. Because that trestle bridge across the Ohio River, man, that thing is just, it is incredible. I'm hoping that when I get my drone, I have to learn the FAA rules, but because there's an airport nearby, but I'd like to be able to go out and skim that bridge with the drone from end to end, because it's pretty cool. My luck, it'll get halfway across the river and the drone will die or something, and it'll dive into the water. Two and a half miles long. That's amazing. I know we get some relatively close to that, because sometimes they stop just outside of Tiffin. They'll hold them up, and they stop just before this one road. It's County Road 38, which is a pretty big road. And that part of the state, everything's broken up into 1 mile blocks. So, and you'll go back and I could go 2 crossings behind them, which is 2 miles, and they'll still be across the tracks. Just massive. I caught a train the other day, just purely by luck. I just happened to be coming up to the crossing, and they had to stop, so you heard the DPU go like neutral and then go into resistive, or go into braking. I had never heard that before, so that was kind of cool. Yeah, there we go. Got some heavy equipment there behind me. I don't know what they're well, they do have, there's a bunch of rail ties out here along, so they must be going to maybe kind of come through and do some repairs. Maybe replace some ties or something, because they're brand new ties. Just got buzzed by a couple of mourning doves. Well, we're coming up on 30 minutes, so I'm probably going to call it quits and head for the barn. Been a nice relaxing afternoon. So thanks for live streaming with me, and we'll do it again sometime. I'll try to be a little more organized. Bye, everybody.